Another man done gone. Another man done gone from the county from another.
It's Jax. What up, Dallas? Let's go.
Martin Luther had a dream, but Freddy Krueger had a Ruger. Ex-Malcolm out the picture, so now we back to the future. Now we back to these losers embracing death like they used to. Poking out they chest, but listen, son, now you leaking that future. So who's the shooter? Is it your man? Or was it a fan? Or was it a stand? Pop would beg to differ. In hindsight, I bet you he say he was not a nigga. Plus Biggie Smalls was just minding his business, yo. Smoking an optimal. Somebody got to drop the homie Biggie has got to go. And they couldn't stop it, no, I wish that they could. Yeah, the world needs change, but man, I wish that we would. So why the long frown? A man harmed from a 4-pound. His blood ripples on the floor from the wall sound. His mama sitting at the wake, hoping the Lord's found. Another dead, another gone now. Damn.
Another man done gone. Another man done gone from the county from another.
George Eliot said that it's best to be what you wanna be. Fucking do what you wanna do, so I do what I wanna do. Bet you did it to floss. Bitch, I did what I wanted. Bet you did it and lost. Bitch, I did it and won it. Shit, I'm never coming back. Listen, I just wanna rap. Gee, I told you all of that. On about a dozen tracks. I don't give a fuck. I just wanna rap. Spitting fire on this track like a fucking thundercat. Plus this mic is bleeding rojo. This shit is a no-no. Rolling in that low-low. Plus I'm from that Baltimore. Need a folk, smoking on my logo. Ready for the woe, and we so silly with the flow. Somebody got a popo. Heard the lanes, and I swear they so too much love for the fame just to go broke. You said think I had the rap game in the show card. Never think I got the whole world in a rope. Gotta think of damn dog, you crazy. Is he the next Jay-Z? My crystal ball is hazy, but I don't know, maybe.
Welcome back to the Insanity Check podcast. Is your host Kriss here. And shout out to Jax, who you just heard on the intro there. My man's living his best life out in Japan right now. I was seeing, I think it was either Facebook or his Instagram photos. So shout out to Jax. Joining me today on today's Insanity Check. If you have been subscribing to our YouTube channel, which you should, you will have seen this man. He's been on the show plenty of times before, but he really graciously helped Phenom and I out at New York Comic Con, being our front man. I got my man Jeff. What's going on, man? Nonstop Culture Podcast.
Yes, sir. Kriss, what's going on?
Nothing much, man. Great to have you on. Thank you very much for doing this. And again, I know I told you this. I've said this online. I said this during the weekend, but now I can officially say it again to you directly on the Insanity Check. Yo, thank you tremendously for the help you gave Brandon and I at New York Comic Con, because we would have been in a lot of the same rooms, but I don't think we would have done all the because I know you saw me what happened when I was going to go to the Ash vs. Evil Dead room, when I'm sitting there literally talking about stuff, going, do I really want to do this? Do I really want to go to this?
Right.
I don't want to. And honestly, that is literally Brandon and I every time we go to New York Comic Con. At some point, we just get tired and go, I'm not doing this. So it's good to have a third person to help. I know the year before last, it was Joy from Black Girl Nerds. And you helped, and it's good. I mean, that's what we got to do as Black podcasters and Black media. You know, helping each other out is how we get ahead. So
yeah, man, for sure. And I like I told you before, that was the most stressless Comic-Con I've ever had as somebody who covers it for media. Where I've said for years, all I want to do is just show up and interview. I don't want to edit. I don't want to shoot. I don't want to do the one-man band, because that's what I've been doing the last few years, where I haven't had a camera person, or I'll get random people just to do it. And then when I do it myself and come home to edit, it's soft. Because when you have to look at the viewfinder, there's a difference. Oh, that little difference between the extra focus could mean your video looking pristine and it looking like it's just, you know, it as an editor, it's super annoying. But as someone who's I'm continuing to build up my reel, get my reps in on camera, like that was an excellent help. I was just glad that we all had the same different needs that were complementary, and we were able to help each other. Because closed mouths don't get fed. Like we'll all sit around those those tables outside of the interview rooms, and we'll lament on all the bullshit that we have to do and what we don't feel like doing. And literally, while we were talking, I'm hearing you, and I'm just like, why am I gonna break out this
Right.
this all this equipment? You have like the Enterprise Starfleet setup where it dwarfs what I have. You have all the equipment out. You're walking with it already set up, and I'm here. What am I going to pull it out to be on the press line with you next to you, shooting by myself, looking like an asshole? I might as well help out.
Yo,
and if we didn't say anything, we wouldn't have known.
It would have been yet another Comic-Con, because like, you're not lying. Like, we literally sit there every year. It's been like, what, 3-4 years we've sat there.
Yes.
We've all been going to the same Comic-Cons going, man, I hate doing this, man. I wish that was you. And then finally, this time, it was just like, yo, why not I just help you guys? I was like, all right, cool. And you're right. It's like, I don't mind interviewing. Like, I did the Agent Shield interviews, or the Explosion Jones interviews. Like, for the ones I really want to do and I'm really into, I'm fine. But there are others where I'm like, yo, you're better on camera. Let me run the camera. And you're right. Like, I should have gotten dude's information. The dude that was soloing, he did everything solo. Like, he was doing pictures, he had his own camera set up, and he would get somebody else to focus it for him, and he would run it that way. And like, I looked at him and I'm like, man, like, dude is hustling. Because he was like, I remember talking to him. I wish I gotten this information, because he had told me that they didn't approve his cameraman. And so he couldn't, so he was doing everything solo. And I'm watching this man hustle, and I'm just like, see, that's the thing. And that's the thing. Like, he's hustling his ass off doing all this stuff. And I'm pretty sure he wasn't like working for some larger company. He's probably running his own site, doing all this stuff. He's doing all this hustling. And I don't want to say thankless, because I'm sure his fans and supporters think that. But it's like, you see what some of these independent media people are doing. It's like, we do it everything. Like, and so when you can get that opportunity to not have to do that, like, you being able to be our front man and do the interviews meant that I could actually, for the first time, really sit down and really pay attention to my equipment, right. and really focus on that. And I kind of got a little bit to it with in San Diego when Shanna was running this stuff. But there would be times when we were running between rooms, so that was kind of harder. This one wasn't as bad. It was a lot of stuff, but they were still kind of spaced out a little bit. So I could actually pay attention to my equipment. I could run backup, so I had backup audio. So if I forgot to hit the audio on one thing, I had a backup audio on another. It's just like, right. And you don't, like you said, you don't have to worry about, like, when if you're doing all yourself, you do things like you're checking to make sure that you hit the buttons. You're looking to make sure you're more hyper aware of your equipment, because you're like, if something doesn't go right, like somebody walks by while you're doing an interview and they stop and they look at your equipment, you start going, is it not on? Like, what? Like, what? Why are you looking like that? Like, what's going on? But when you're behind the camera and you don't have to worry about doing anything else, it's like, no, everything's fine. It's good. We're fine. And you don't have to worry about it. You can focus on the actual interview, or I can be behind the camera. I can focus on the actual equipment, and I can do things. The gifted interviews. We all put all the gifted interviews are up. So if you go to MTR Network, go to youtube.com/MTR Network, you'll see all the gifted interviews that Jeff did. There's a couple times, I think, when you were interviewing Natalie and Percy, that room was so fucking crowded. Like that line, it was the best run room. But at one point, they had put talent on either side of you, and you were waiting. And then you bring Percy and Natalie in, and we were like trying to figure out how to do it. So I think at one point I had to actually pick the camera up and move it closer, so to get everybody else out. But I could do that because I'm behind the camera. If you were doing it all yourself, you would have had all these extra people in your shot. It would have been, you would have been worried about that, and you wouldn't have been able to focus. But by doing that, yeah, man, it's just I've realized very quickly that we need to do this more often. And not just that, but just being able to get things like you helped Brandon and Ashley get up to the VIP area for the American God stuff.
Yeah, man, it's so many stories. So it's just so funny. And if you've heard Kriss many times talk about how he hates New York and all the hustle and bustle, it's like I was forged in this fire. I feel like Bane when he gave that speech. Right. That's how I feel about moving and shaking in New York. So just to give you guys a little perspective on that gifted room, if you remember, Kriss, when we were in there, we're setting up, we're ready to go, and they ran that room perfectly. Like that was the best run room
of the weekend.
At least top 2 in that I was in. So they brought, if you were not doing anything, they brought talent to you. So at one point, I think they had Stephen Moyer and Amy Acker on my left, and then they had Emma Duma on my right. And literally, I'm not like a huge dude. I ain't Diesel or nothing like that. But they were that close where if I were to move my arms up, I would have hit either side.
Oh, I know for a fact you're in the people on the side of us because they weren't using the same lens we were. I know for a fact you're probably in their shots. You were in their videos.
They got the back of my head is starring in like sci-fi and all that shit. But I remember the publicist came and said, "Hey, do you want to speak to such and such?" And I was like, "Ma'am, I can't even move right now." I was like, "I can't do anything." And we were very respectful. Like, it was like a joke. I was like, "Ma'am," I looked at my left. I said, "I can't do anything. I can hardly breathe right now. I have to wait." And we all just kind of looked at each other. And I threw up my hands like Jordan when he hit the 6 3-pointer. I was like, I can't really do anything. But they held us all down, and we were able to get everyone.
Yep.
So that was good. And just like, yeah, man, just in terms of helping out, I just remember, I think it was CJ from 3 Black Geeks that was there.
Yep.
When I had a press thing for the Tick, and I was just on such a high from not having to record. I was like, "Yo, CJ, you want that shit? Take it, man. I don't need to do that. Like, Kriss and them are gonna be in there. Yo, take it." And he didn't even. He was getting his getting where he fit in with press stuff too. So I was very happy to give him that. But when I was outside taking cosplay pics, and I remember y'all had Reverie, and I was just like, "Yo, let me hit these guys up." I just shout out Blue just in case. Yo, y'all good? Y'all need help? And you're like, "Yo, we're still in Tick."
Right.
I was like, "What?" Yeah. So held down the spot, which was smart because they were already getting set up. And then when y'all came in, they were like, "Yo, yeah, you could do the on camera because Phenom need to take pictures. You need to edit." And mind you, if I would have just stayed silent, y'all would have had to hustle. Yeah. So that's why we really gotta help each other out. And just like I just said, we fulfilled each other's needs. So that helped out a lot. And I didn't realize how much y'all did until I helped out. Because, I don't want to step on toes or anything like that. Like I want to do my thing, but I want to make sure you guys are good too. But the fact that after we did that, I was like, wait, he takes the pictures, then comes on camera, and then takes the pictures while he's on camera. Like, does he have like 4 hands? Does he have like 6 arms?
Yeah, no. Fuck? Like, and you think again, New York this year, and this is, and people know this now. Every year I do New York Comic Con, I come on and I rant about how much I hate New York. I did not do that this year. That should tell you something right there. All right. But yeah, no. Again, and this is why we're trying our damnedest to get at least 4 people for San Diego this year. We already I'm up for re-verification. I put Daniel in this year just because you think that's bad. San Diego is. We're all usually organized. We know what we're doing, but so at San Diego we were doing Black Lightning, and while we were doing Black Lightning, about halfway through Black Lightning, Supergirl started. Thankfully, it was a room over. So I'm in Supergirl. I'm in Black Lightning, setting up shooting cameras for using video for one. I then go over and set up another because I had 2 tripods. I went and set up another tripod for Shanna and Supergirl while I'm leaving the other one running in Black Lightning because she started in Black Lightning. She went over to Supergirl to hold down a spot. I set up stuff in there for her. We're also having a Cat Brooks solo interview that we're trying to figure out when we're going to do that one in there. And then she stayed over. And again, because what happens with San Diego is so many times they won't clear the rooms. Sometimes, especially if they're all like CW. So Supergirl, she stayed in later. She stayed in for the next one, even though we didn't get it, The Flash, and she just did audio for The Flash, And then Brandon, what Brandon does is, if he doesn't have to be on camera, he just floats because he'll float between room to room, and sometimes because he's always talking. The photographers always talk to each other, so they'll tell you. Right. That's how we ended up in like the Defenders and things like that. They talk to each other, and you just keep an eye out to see where talent is walking by, and you can get them when they're going in between rooms, or you can just follow them into a room and take pictures. So it's like, yeah, man, having being able to focus on that one thing. I mean, that's why Brandon's so good at taking the pictures, you know, that he's just been able to focus on just that. But yeah, when we got to struggle between both and do both, it is hard. We pull it off though, but it's one of those things.
With pictures, by the way.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
All pun intended. They call him Phenom for a reason. Those pictures are incredible.
Yeah, those pictures are great. And like I said, he just keeps getting better and better at it. And this is the first year I really feel like the videos I did, because I finally got all the equipment working correctly, and it worked the entire week. And I'm like, okay, now the videos are back to the way I want. Like, I like the videos we had at San Diego, but like, it was the first time using all the equipment. This year, it was. And I know I've had some people ask me about like doing a post or something on the equipment. I'm probably just going to do a YouTube video at some point. I'm just going to, break out all the equipment I have and do a little quick video and throw it up on YouTube so you guys can find it there to see. Because like I said, our equipment, I think next year will be the first year that our equipment is pretty much stable. Like, I don't have to buy anything else. Like, I've gone into debt over getting some of this equipment, but I think we're good now. Like, I might buy some more lenses and things like that, but for the most part, I think we ran New York pretty well. But yeah, I mean, and even in San Diego, the reason why we got so much stuff in San Diego is because we work with other outlets. We shared information. Like, it was weird. Like, you got the stuff for the Gifted like super early in September. I never did. You were like, "Did you get this?" I was like, "No." I emailed them. Okay, we got you. It's just one of the things, like, share the, because when sometimes I think that they either don't add names, they forget to add names to their press list, or they just don't add anybody, right? And there's like, if our list is closed, and if you get the information, you get the information some kind of way, then we'll approve you. But if you don't, then you don't. Yeah, like, sometimes you just got to email them. It's like, "Hey, what's going on with this? And can we do this?" And yeah, man, it's just a lot of work. Like, people don't understand that San Diego and New York stuff is just, it can be a lot. But when you're working together and you have people that have their own roles, like, it makes so much smoother. Like, if Brandon knows, he's a photographer. He does photos. If anything else fails, he's gonna get photos. There's sometimes we're like, right, you know what? We have 2 rooms. You just go take photos in that room, and we can still use those for something else, and go from there. But yeah, man, this New York was pretty good, man, and us working together. It's just, like I said, it's one of those things. It's like, why didn't we do this sooner?
It's funny because, like, I get my press access through different outlets all the time. And the thing about when you're not doing it for yourself and you get approved, you're basically, this is a purview into how editorial process works. If I do it for a major outlet, I can shoot and record all the footage, do all these interviews, then you give it to the outlet, and the editor decides what they think will resonate with their readership, their viewership, and their audience, and then they'll publish it accordingly. But everything else isn't getting used, as opposed to smaller outlets or more niche outlets like movie trailer reviews, like all the other ones that they're using it all. Yeah. And they're promoting because your audience, that's what they're into. So I would implore everybody who listens, all the thousands and thousands of people, because I know it's thousands and thousands, right? If you listen to the podcast, just go and subscribe to the YouTube channel, because once you get over a certain threshold, I think it's 5,000, then you can go to YouTube studios and shoot shit if you want to. Like, having that number is more than vanity for YouTube. You are afforded certain privileges as being a prime or a premium YouTube member. So once you get into those numbers, it's really beneficial for Kriss and for everybody else. So if you listen, even if you don't really watch the videos like that, or you watch them here and there, just subscribe. It doesn't hurt. If you're in 2017 now, then your Gmail is linked to everything. It's one beautiful ecosystem. Just subscribe so that and share it too, because the work that everybody's doing, especially if you care about these shows, the more engagement, the more audience that is built, the easier it'll be. So there'll be a day where Kriss will be like, "Oh man, I just got mad emails. I didn't even get to all of them. Fox, CBS, ABC. They just need to leave me alone." Like, that's what it's gonna get to if you can build the profile of the show. Because this dude's been working hard since I've known him. I know even before that, but since I've seen it firsthand. So I would love in a perfect world just to go in under one outlet that's really going to promote the shit. Like, yo, just so subscribe and share it and let people know that you're and not just my shit, not just this boys that I bought, everything that Kriss does, like everything that Movie Trailer Reviews does. Just continue to share it and get people to subscribe, because if you really enjoy the content, if you get more people to view it and see it and subscribe, the access will increase too.
Yeah, and Jeff kind of took what I was going to say, because I was going to go into our little, hey, make sure you guys subscribe. Yeah, no, youtube.com/MTR Network. Like right now, we're just sending under, and again, just to show you that we've grown. I want to say at the beginning of the year, we were at maybe like 200, because we weren't really using the YouTube channel. We're like maybe 200, and I'm not even saying beginning of the year, May. And since then, we are just under 600 subscribers. So, I mean, we're definitely, people are picking it up. People are growing. They're watching the videos. And again, all of our podcast episodes are on YouTube. So let's say you can't get Stitcher, you can't get iTunes or anything at work, but you can get YouTube. You can watch, and guess what? Those views count as downloads. Like, thank God for Libsyn. They count. So if you watch, our, I think the last one we have up there right now is our Legend of Tomorrow review. You watch the Legend of Tomorrow review on YouTube. That counts as a podcast download for us. Thanks to the way Libsyn counts YouTube views and the audio. You can do it that way. So, like Jeff said, it all helps. Like all of that stuff. Like you said, there are certain thresholds that YouTube sets once you get a certain number of views on videos, once you get a certain number of like we can now monetize because of the total number of views we have on our channel, so all of our videos can get monetized off of that. So that's another source of income for MTR Network that we can help. So yeah, all that stuff helps. And subscribe. Like I said, we're going to be doing more. That also brings up the fact that if you are a premium member, or if you're not a premium member and you want to be, if you're existing premium members, sign up for the $10 a month Patreon account, patreon.com/MTR Network, and you'll be able to get the live shows. We have one person sign up right now. So starting November, we're going to start doing, we'll make at least one of the shows live, and I'll put the link out and available on Patreon. So make sure if you're a premium member, you want to go to the live shows, make sure you sign up for that $10 a month account. If you're just you're not a premium member yet, you want to be, you either do it at the site, mtrnetwork.net, or you can do it through Patreon. The Patreon episodes do come out like a month after. So if you're on the site, I think we have right now, we just did the latest Doctor Who episode and episode 16 of Molecules and shit. Those stuff will be released November 1st if you sign up before November 1st. So if you sign up to be a Patreon, the rest of this month, you got, 9 days? I mean, it's 31 days, right? So you got 10 days. 10 days to sign up. You do that November 1st. All the content will be available to you on there. And again, all that money kind of goes to helping us improve the equipment we have, get more people out. Like I said, I'm hoping that we can get at least four of us out to San Diego to do the work we need to do out there. And eventually what I might start doing is being able to get people badges. If they can't get press, we can get people to just walk the floor and give us some on the ground level, reporting and things like that. So, we got a lot of stuff we're working on. We're going to bring a lot of stuff in there. You listen to this episode, you're going to get double dose of Jeff, because we're going to be bringing, the Gifted episodes 1 through 3 with Shanna later on the day. We're going to be talking about that, and that's going to be on the Super Tuesday recap feed. So, yeah, make sure you subscribe to each of the individual feeds. Subscribe to us on YouTube. And, again, the YouTube one is so easy because, again, it doesn't cost you anything. Just get us to subscribe and watch what you want. Like I said, we have plenty more videos coming out. I only put out the videos of stuff that basically was either already released or was releasing the last week or two. So we did all the Gifted ones. We have the 2 more videos of the lore, and I have the video of our American Gods interview that I haven't made public yet because I was still working on it a little bit. So I'll put that one out as well. But we still have Reverie. Oh, I'm sorry. Anyway, Explosion Jones was also out as well. We still have Reverie. We still have The Tick, Future Man, which we did interviews for that, and we actually have screeners for that. So we're going to be Freena and I will be reviewing the first 7 episodes of that. That'll probably be premium stuff, because I think we're going to make all of our reviews for streaming stuff, premium episodes. So that'll be premium content that's coming out soon. Talking about Future Man, which if you watch the trailer for Future Man, it looks actually really kind of cool. And there's just so much stuff. There were so many fucking videos. We still have Agent of Shield. I still have those videos to do. So
you didn't even put those out yet.
No, I didn't. Yeah, dude. When I looked at how much stuff we actually have, and they're like most of them are one-on-one. I didn't put out the 10th anniversary WB stuff, original animated stuff. I still have those to do. We have Shut Eye. Like there's so much stuff I didn't do. I only did the stuff that was coming out in October. So there's and here's the thing: Reverie doesn't come out. I didn't know this. Reverie doesn't come out until March of next year.
Oh wow!
Right. So I was like, I'm still gonna put those out sooner than that. But I was like, oh shit, Nick, I'm chilling on this. I'm chilling on Reverie right now.
Ain't no rush.
Ain't no rush for that. So I think even the Tick doesn't come back until beginning of January. So I think Future Man might be the next one we put out because that comes out. I want to say November 14th. So we'll probably put those videos out the week of November 14th to get those stuff out there. And last thing before we move into the rest of this episode, character corners. The latest character corner is up. Thor Part 1. We talk Walter Simonson's run and the coming of Ragnarok. So if you want to prepare for Thor Ragnarok, which is getting great reviews so far, and I see next Thursday, which I can't wait. Make sure you check that out. Again, you can watch that on YouTube, or you can just get it on the Character Corner feed. Deepam and I are actually recording Thor Part 2 tomorrow, and that'll probably release the week of Thor Ragnarok. And so you'll be able to get both of those episodes. And then we'll still have a third episode, not of Thor, but it'll be our first part of our Batgirls Character Corner coming out. So, and then Deepam will be... he'll be getting married, so he'll be out of commission for about a week, and only a week. And we'll have some special guests for some of the reviews that we're doing and things like that. But stay tuned, and we also have a next set of reviews for Star Trek Discovery coming too. So just stay tuned. There's a lot of shit coming out on the network. You guys are going to be really appreciate that. So. And then last thing before we get out of here, just shout out to Brandon and Ashley. Their wedding was yesterday, and it was beautiful. It was great, and I just gotta say, all right. So everybody knows Ashanti and I are dating, right? So we went to the wedding. You know, we know it was one of those things. You go to the wedding, and people ask, "Are you on the side of the groom or the bride?" And we're just like, both, because we know both of them. So whatever. Deidre, Mike, Twan, all of them were there. It was great. So, it's getting to the end of the night, and they're going to toss the bride's going to toss the bouquet, right? And I'm chilling. I'm sitting there going, it's fitting to be a breeze. It's good. Chilling, right? Why Ashanti nearly tackle somebody to get that damn thing?
Oh, man. Come on.
I'm sitting here like, when did this happen? Is this... And everybody looking at me, I'm like, I'm over here eating, chilling, thinking damn near tackle somebody to get it. And I'm just like, okay.
Did she get it?
Yeah, no, she definitely got it. Yeah.
Yo, Doug, I love the weddings because when the bride throws the bouquet, it's like Hail Mary in the end zone. Fourth quarter, no time left, last play of the game. when the man throws the I forgot what the name is, the joint that goes on her thigh when he takes it off and he throws that, you would have thought a bomb went off. Dudes disperse, they jump away, or they just look at it on the floor like, damn. Or you get that one savage like, yo, I'm catching this shit. It's about to be on.
Yo, it literally was one of those scenes out of the movie where you see people like women like literally fighting. I was like, what is going on here? Like, so that was funny, and I had to bring that up, and I know she's gonna hate me for that, but it was absolutely hilarious because I was like, you don't watch football, but you literally about to give somebody CTE, and
right.
Yeah,
she got the bouquet, but she's in concussion protocol.
Yo, she was literally on the out. So I'm sitting there chilling, watching. I'm like, she's not even going to participate. She's sitting on the outside. Wrong. She's sitting on the outside so she can cut across. Like she acted like one of those like a DB coming on a corner blitz, and I was just like, yo, what was this? Who was this? You come out of nowhere.
She was watching The Bride's Eyes.
Yo, This is what happened when Ashley was staring down the receiver. Yo, man. Yo, absolutely fucking hilarious. Just going like, are we serious right now? This is what we're doing? Okay, this is what we're doing. All right. Anyway, let's move on. Get into some topics. I want to start where Brandon and I, because we had Phenom on last week. I want to start kind of where we left off, and I thought it was good because Jeff's here. You're in media, so and I actually wanted to say the topic for you, but we kind of got into it last week. To talking about all this Harvey Weinstein shit. Oh yeah, because it's just it's one of the things. It's not surprising. But I think what's been surprising to me is watching people be surprised. And I don't mean like normal people outside the industry. It's like watching the media be surprised. And I'm like, but you guys cover stories like this every other month. You guys literally just covered Cosby. We covered Nate Parker, Casey Affleck. Like, you guys covered Woody Allen, Roman Polanski. Why are you guys all of a sudden now acting like you didn't know that? And many of you did. How are you all of a sudden not knowing that, Harvey Weinstein was doing this shit? Like, that's what's been getting me is the media going, how could, look at these people. Like, you guys were complicit too.
Yeah, I would say... So I think a lot of times when people act like they're so astonished that it happens, you kind of have to take every story as it is, unless you're building an investigation or whatever have you. Because us reading it, we know, we see the patterns, right? Mm-hmm. But if it's similar to mass shootings. They happen so often in the U.S., unfortunately, that we already know the protocol. We know all the responses that are going to happen. We know, depending on race, how it's going to be framed. So at this point, we don't want to be desensitized towards it.
Right.
You know what I mean? We don't want to be desensitized. So that may be why some people still act shocked or feign surprise, because they want to make it seem, because somebody's reading it for the first time, and unfortunately, people are willfully ignorant, where they take everything as its own isolated incident. Oh my God, I can't believe that there was a mass shooting in a school in the U.S. Oh my God, I can't believe there's a mass shooting in a school in the U.S. 5 months later, 2 months later, 2 weeks later. But maybe it's the volume of it too, where, okay, we know it's a sleazy executive that people, just thinking about it now, maybe it's because people have joked about it for years and they kind of brushed it to the side. And now that it's coming out and the level to which it's coming out, everybody's like, oh shit, this was real. Oh shit, this is something that's serious. But we cover it. It's been covered in different avenues with different people. But yeah, I think it's more so the volume than anything. Because even with me, yeah, I've seen it. We've seen this story time and time again. But when someone like Lupita comes out, I'm like, damn, you got Lupita? Yeah. Shit. Wow. Like, damn, where did that come from? That, to me, I was a little shocked, because I was like, damn. Because you don't hear anything, and you think that these people, you see you see what they present to us, right? So Lupita, to me, her disposition to me is someone who would speak out, or would, but we don't really know these people like that. But so when she speaks out years later, that's where it took me aback a bit. But it also speaks towards the silence that women have, because they know when they speak out, they're automatically going to get attacked. It may ruin and damage their career. So to see them have the strength to speak out on it, and then see who's speaking out about it, yeah, it does take me back a bit.
Yeah, it's funny. It is not funny, but it's one of the things that you mentioned there about how the jokes and the things that are there. Like, I think this is one of the things that, and I'll have something later on Jimmy Kimmel, because I'm not Jimmy Kimmel on Fallon, because he kind of pissed me off with something he said, but it's one of the things I think that we don't understand when it comes to jokes, right? You know, people go, it's just jokes. But a lot of times, like the best comedy always has truth in it, right? Like that's always been comedy. Like nobody really finds things that are just completely out there that don't make any sense. That are just making that shit up. Like that shit doesn't. It might be funny for like a hot second, but eventually it doesn't have lasting power. But the things that have lasting power in comedy always come with truth, because that's what comedians are. You come from like being the court jester, being the only person that can speak, you know, truthfully to the king because, well, he would put a joke to it, right? And that's what it is here. It's like all those jokes about the casting couch and what women have to do to get, you know, show a little cleavage to get the job, you know, all those jokes people were made. It's like, yeah, they were made jokes because they were actually happening. Like that's actually the reality isn't funny. You know, the joke could be funny. You can, you know, and plenty of women have said these kind of things themselves to make jokes of it and make light of it. But like, it's real. It's kind of like how when black people make jokes about their own pain and suffering, and we talk about things like that, and it's like, yeah, it's funny until you realize that, no, actually, you know, this actually shit does really fucking happen, right? It's like, you know, think back to, you know, and I think I mentioned this last week, Hannibal Buress and Cosby. A lot of people, they're like, oh, yeah, he was out there to expose Cosby. No, he was making a joke about things that he thought everybody already fucking knew. And then all of a sudden people go, hey, wait a minute. There are 50 women that have accused Cosby. Yeah, duh. We've been saying this for years. Comedians have been saying this for years. It's like when Barry, what was it? Seth MacFarlane at one of the, was it the Grammys or the Oscars one year? I think it was the Oscars. Made a joke during their nomination or something like that about Harvey Weinstein, and it kind of floated on the radar. Now years later, people are going back and going, he was talking about, he was being truthful. It's like, yeah, motherfucker. Yeah. This stuff, comedy has some, if you laugh at something that sounds fucked up, it's probably happened at one point. You know? It probably has happened. Like a lot of our favorite comedians, they make jokes. Like, think about Dave Chappelle and Kill 'Em Softly, right? But all the jokes he made about like police brutality, that was literally happening. Like, he was stuff that was, he made the joke. Remember he made the joke about sprinkle some crack on him? You know, this Negro broke into his own home. Then years later, Henry Gates got arrested breaking into his own home. And we were like, wait, this is actually happening? Yes, it does actually happen. You know, we make fun of it because it's like, that's the only time people actually fucking listen and you laugh, but this shit actually happens. And so, yeah, it's one of those things that I think it was, who was it? It was somebody else who brought this up, and people just kind of dismiss it. Like, when people are serious about it, they dismiss it. You make a joke about it, people laugh and go, oh, yeah, you know, Hollywood, you know how it is. And they're like, yeah, so if I told you that in a serious tone of voice, you would have dismissed me. But when I make a joke about it, you go, oh, yeah, we got to do something about that. Ha, 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 ha. I'm like, yeah, but no, that's the same thing. It actually happens.
No, he's legit out here soliciting women for roles.
Yeah, like I saw somewhere, something like 50 women now, and I was like, yo, he's actually reached Bill Cosby. He was going to buy NBC levels, you know?
Right.
It's just like, yeah, it's 50 women. And here's the thing, you know, it was probably more. And now what you're seeing is, you're seeing a lot of the, like, since the Harvey Weinstein thing, you've had a shit ton of come out. Like, did you hear this one about the Amazon? Roy Price has gone from Amazon Studios, bounced from his post as president as a result of a detailed sexual harassment allegations. Now the ground looks increasingly unsteady beneath members of his executive team. Joe Lewis, head of drama and comedy development at Amazon Studios, has already seen his purview shrink significantly this year. An order from Amazon CEO and founder Jeff Bezos to reorient the studio's efforts towards large-scale genre series with a potential for broad international appeal. Price this year brought in former Fox International executive Sharon Tal Gaudo as head of event series. Subsequent resources have been shifted away from Lewis's unit and towards her unit. So you're seeing that, you know, now what you're getting is you're getting the men who were committing the sexual harassment are under fire, but now also the people that were working with them who had to have known.
Right.
That's the other thing too, right? You get all these people and you get all these men now coming out saying, and I can't remember who it was. It was somebody actually had a decent apology because he basically was like, we all knew, and he was keeping it real. It's like, we all knew, but this is a gatekeeper, and we all decided to make choices based that benefited our career at the expense of doing what was right, which is real. Like, that is a real understanding, and I understand how hard that is to admit, but he was being real about it versus everybody else who goes, oh, yeah, I'm sorry to hear about these allegations. You know, I have a daughter, like the I have
Thoughts
a daughter
and
thing.
prayers.
Yeah, thoughts and prayers. It's like the I have a daughter is the new I have a black friend.
Right.
So you have a daughter. So what? That didn't stop you from saying anything. That didn't stop you from working with this man. Like what the fuck? Like what does I have a daughter really fucking mean? You know? You say this like the Academy kicked out. They voted unanimously. I think the what was it? The Directors Guild voted to kick Harvey Weinstein out. But as many
he's
people
expelled.
Yeah, he's expelled. But people pointed out, it's like, yeah, but Bill Cosby, Roman Polanski, and Woody Allen are still there,
chilling.
So what are you doing? And again, I can't not bring this up. Like, Roman Polanski is a convicted child molester, a child rapist. He is convicted. Like, you can make excuses. They're bad excuses, but you can make excuses for Woody Allen and Bill Cosby, right? Well, you know, technically they haven't been found guilty of anything yet, right? They're bad excuses, but you can make those excuses, right? What's the excuse for Roman Polanski? He was literally convicted of raping a child. He does not deny it. He does not deny having sexual intercourse and raping this child. He does not deny that. He was convicted of it, and he ran from the country. How is he still in, but Harvey Weinstein is gone?
Do you think it has anything to do with the fact that Weinstein's actions were tied directly to the employment of actors themselves, where he was trying to hinder them by soliciting them for sex and blackmailing them basically for sexual favors or anything like that? And that's directly tied to the movies and all of those projects that he had going on. Like, do you think that so they look at it and say, okay, well, this was tied into the actual creation of films. So if he's hindering that process and he's making us look bad from a business perspective, that's why he needs to go. These other guys, this was on their own personal time, quote unquote. So their sins were within society, like within themselves. It didn't directly affect the business.
The non-cynical part of me wants to believe that. The non-cynical part of me wants to believe that their logic is basically that Harvey Weinstein was a virus that infected everything. He infected everything from actors and actresses, producing movies, directing movies. He infected everything. It was across the board, and he was a virus that had to be rooted out. The non-cynical part of me wants to believe that. The cynical part of me believes that the reason why, and the only reason why, Harvey Weinstein is seeing the pushback that Polanski and others don't is, and I saw an article about this before, and I wish I still had it, but his influence was already waning. It's kind of like Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby didn't really get taken down until he was weak enough to take him down. Like, by the time Bill Cosby stuff came back up, who the fuck is, like, yeah, he was gonna have that, what was that, like, not a Netflix show, it was like they were gonna try to do another show for him on some network, like maybe it was ABC Family or something like that. But in 2016, nobody gave a fuck about Bill Cosby at that point. So it was like he didn't have the same influence and power he had back at his height of the time. So the cynical part of me, and I believe this is to be the truth, is that the reason why Harvey Weinstein is being taken down this time by these accusations is that he's weak enough to do it. He's at the point where he's weak enough, and it has the least amount of impact on everybody else. Like, at this point, you could shun Harvey Weinstein and be okay. You couldn't
Right.
do this back when he had more power. And I think that's what the problem is, and that's what the difference is. Right now, Roman Polanski still has a lot of friends. He has a lot of influence. He's got a lot of movies still made, and people are okay with it. And he makes a lot of other people money. Same thing with Woody Allen. So they still have some influence and some power. I think Harvey Weinstein, on the other hand, he was already kind of losing out, and so it was easy to take him down. He's at his weakest. They didn't go. Now it's okay. I now feel. I am now thinking about how many men have come out now. All the men that have now come out are all been set in their careers.
Right.
So they've already achieved everything they needed to achieve. So now it's okay for them to speak out. Which honestly, and I'll just keep it real, it's what makes them cowards. Like, speaking out as a man, and I'm only speaking to men at this time, because I think that with women it's totally different. Like, anytime a woman speaks out on something like this, is courageous, because even when a woman is set in her career, it's not the same, right? I mean, you see this all the time. Women, when they get like 35, stop getting roles. Like they're deemed too old, whereas a 50-year-old man can be cast to be the love interest of an 18-year-old, right? So I mean, it's just so women don't have that either in being directors or producers behind the camera, in front of the camera. Like, they don't have the same privileges and benefits that men do. So as a man, though, if you come out now and you're speaking about Harvey Weinstein, because I was seeing some people that were mad at Kevin Smith, and I was like, well, I can see. And then I started thinking about it, I was like, well, no, they're right. Kevin, you're a coward. You are a coward. You only spoke up now because it's safe for you to do it. But the thing about it is, it was always more, as a man in Hollywood, it was always more safe for you to speak up than a woman was. You were always in a better position. Like, people are more likely to listen to you. You're more likely to get more work. Like, you aren't going to be blacklisted. Like, we've seen plenty of evidence of women being blacklisted. Like, going back to the Lupita thing, and I'm going to have something else to go into with that. But people were wondering around 2014, after she got our Academy Award, why she didn't get any other roles. Well, you see why. It was a small role here, but she was going to get something, but it involved Harvey Weinstein. And She turned it down. And you see the evidence of why she turned and what went on behind that. So how many men have we heard in these stories? And you would think that by now we would have heard the story. How many stories have we heard of men who spoke up and were blacklisted because they spoke up and refused to work with Harvey Weinstein? Right.
Good point.
The answer is none. The answer is none. Because either somebody did speak out and did try to get it known and wasn't blacklisted, or, and this is probably more the case, they didn't say anything. They didn't do anything. Yes, Harvey Weinstein is a huge name in Hollywood, but you can't tell me that he is the only name in Hollywood. So you mean to tell me that a group of men equally as powerful as Harvey Weinstein, one, A, didn't know what he was doing, or B, couldn't get together and outmaneuver him and get him out of the fucking paint? No, they just didn't.
That would also assume that they cared.
One, that they
cared to a larger level.
Well, it assumes two things, right? One, like you said, that they cared, but two, that they weren't doing the same thing.
Yeah, that's the scary part, because it does speak to a larger problem with men in general, where we'll see trash behavior happen or men doing trash shit, and we shrug it off because we're so used to it that unless it crosses a certain threshold, we're like, yo, it is what it is. And that's society conditioning. And it's not even on some quote unquote feminist shit. It's real. It's the reason why you may be with a group of your guys and you would tell people, I don't want none of my friends dating my sister. I wouldn't want none of my friends dating a daughter that I had. Why is that? In a perfect world, if you had a daughter or a sister, if you hang out with quality dudes, unless it's like, all right, if y'all break up, then I lose my friend too because I just don't want to get in the middle of that. But past those problems, why is it that you're always hesitant about having a daughter to begin with? Why is it that you're always hesitant for people that you know to want to date somebody that a woman that you're close to? It's because inherently we know dudes out here are fucking trash. Like dudes out here, they cross certain lines and they have certain behavior where when we interact with them, we may not check them as quickly. But if it was somebody that was directly tied to us by blood or relationship, then that threshold line gets real. There's not enough rope. There's not enough rope. That threshold line becomes a lot smaller. You know what I mean? So that's something that I think we all, because I know I've seen it, my circle of friends, and even in general, where we're more aware about it now. We're more aware about it now. And the society has gotten more sensitive to things like that, where you remember you were on Twitter in the golden era in 2009, 2010, where that shit was, and that's a show in itself. And I'm ready for the I love the 90s of Black Twitter. I'm ready for the look back show, because dog, that shit, before it got corporate, that shit was literally Red Dead Redemption. Yeah, we were all trash. Like every single, everybody, like even the people that come out and be like, I can't, you guys, no, you were trash too. I remember we were all bad, and it's because we didn't know any better. And over the years, we've all grown. And again, I think this is one of the things that, and I want to make clear, because there's been a lot of talks about canceling people and when is enough. Because like for instance, there was stuff with Jason Momoa came out, right, with his the joke he made in Hall H that one year about raping beautiful women, right? But let me see if I can find it, because I want to actually read. He basically made a joke. If you don't know about this, made a joke about what he liked about playing his character on Game of Thrones, and he basically said that he gets to fight and rape beautiful women, and it was so much fun, right? But people. It didn't get much play back then. It should tell you how much we've grown. That when that came out, I think I want to say that's 2014. The time we've grown in the 3 years, that now people will go back and find that and it resonates more. So he went out and he did an apology, right? And so I want to read his apology, because I think that this is how this is when you got to draw the line between canceling a person and understanding that people who have been trash can grow, and it doesn't get rid of the things they've said, but you got to allow for them to grow. So he says, I woke up in Australia to the justified reaction by many people to a distasteful joke I made years ago in Hall H, for which I am sorry. I'm still severely disappointed in myself at the insensitivity of my remarks that day. I know my sincerest apology now won't take away those hurtful words. Rape and sexual harassment can reach anyone, and I have seen firsthand its painful torment among members of my own family and friends. I made a truly tasteless comment. It is unacceptable, and I sincerely apologize with a heavy heart for the words I said. All apologies, Jason. You can't really fault. Like he did what he was supposed to, and I'll even say this. You have to know your audience when you're making certain jokes. You have to know it. And funny enough, at that time, in that place, that was the audience to make an off-color, tasteless joke like that. Yes, especially for people who watch Game of Thrones. Mm-hmm. That's why when I heard it, I was like, oh, I know the context that he's talking about. People talk about this, and it's what you brought up before about jokes that have a huge amount of fact in it. Mm-hmm. People been talking about rape on Game of Thrones since its inception, and him making that joke, I felt like it was almost satire, like him breaking that fourth wall of saying, people talk about it all the time. So this is like he said incest too. Yeah, he said all of that. So all of the points that people kill Game of Thrones on, but now, and to your point, I was like, damn, this happened how long ago, and we're just hearing about this? Yeah, I want to say, because if he was still on the show, he was on that panel, and that would have been like 2011. Yeah, it had to be, because that would have been the first year that the first season of Game of Thrones. Right. Because he didn't survive a long time ago. Yeah, he didn't survive past the first season, so had to be the first season of Game of Thrones. So and again, going back to know your audience, remember, at that time we're also going through a time in Comic-Con history where
it wasn't very inviting for women either. So again, you probably have a room full of men, you know, going in here, and he's making a joke to a room full of men, and it's ridiculous. And yeah, so again, it doesn't mean that. But going back to his apology, what I like about his apology is he owned it. He didn't say it was a long time ago. He's like, you know, I'm sorry I hurt people. I'm sorry if you found it offensive. He didn't do any of those fake apologies, right? He owned it. He said, yeah, it was wrong then. I should have known better. I am disappointed in myself. I'm trying to do better, and I am doing better now. But I can't, and my apology can't take away the people that are harmed by that joke. That's what you have. That is what you have to do. But what makes his apology stand out so much is that so many men won't do that, right? So many of us, you know, you have to own the fact that we're trash. We have made trash jokes. We have done these things. We have been harmful. We have either directly or indirectly contributed to rape culture. It's just a fact. If you are a man of a certain age, you more than likely have fallen into that category. I mean, it's just a fact. You can sit there and try to deny it, but none of us are Ned Flanders. All right, just it ain't true, right? So the only thing we can do is to own it. This is why I kind of tell people, it's like, I'm against, you ever see, I can't remember what it was, who it was. It was some, I think it was an Asian woman. She had gotten picked up by SNL, and she started deleting her old jokes. And because people went and started finding them, was like, oh, she's anti-black and stuff like that. And I'm like, see, your first mistake was going back and deleting them. Leave them there. Yeah. Leave them there. Like, I don't understand what PR people are telling these people. It's like, don't delete them because somebody has the receipts already. If you need to go back and delete the comments you made, trust me, somebody either has the receipts and took screenshots, or at the very least, they remember what you said. So going back and deleting it doesn't change anything. It doesn't. Own it. Yes, I said it. Yes, I was wrong. Yes, I am sorry. And I know that doesn't change what I've done, but I am going to try to make sure going forward that I do the right thing. Once you say that, there's nothing anybody can say to you. And so what you're seeing right now, to tie this back into the Harvey Weinstein thing, is you're not seeing people do the Jason Momoa. You're seeing people go, well, I had no, whoa, you know, or you're seeing them go, I mean, yeah, I knew, and I wish I could have said more. What is that supposed to fucking do? What is that going to fucking do? Because here's the thing. The question is, all right, you say you wish you could have done more. All right, start naming names now. Because you know, if you saw Harvey Weinstein doing this shit, he wasn't the only one. So name names. Start calling people out. Start doing it, you know? And like I said, so many of these men are in positions where you are now have more clout than you did before. And the other thing too is with the internet and with fans being so involved, you would have people have your back. This is not like, you know, the 1990s when you say these things and you would then be blacklisted and forgotten about. People would literally, if you came out as a man and started naming names and pointing things out, you would actually have people to back you and support you on this. You would have more power. But so many of them, one, don't want to do it because, one, it's their friends. It's their family. Right. It's them. So you're not going to say anything. And you're not going to do anything. And that's what we're seeing now. So to go back to what you were saying about what why do I think it's Harvey Weinstein? It's definitely because he has less power this time. He's an easy target. Honestly, at this point, as he's a low-hanging fruit. If you really want to go into that, he's a low-hanging fruit. Because think about it. Just last year, the person who won Best Actor was Casey Affleck. Ben Affleck comes out saying he's disgusted. You know, I have a daughter, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you have a brother. You have a brother who was accused.
They got Ben Affleck out of here so quick.
Yo, you have a brother. You're talking about you're disgusted by, you have a brother who was accused.
He has himself.
Oh, you're right. I forgot. You had the video that came up with him. It's like, bruh, what are we talking about here, man? When are you gonna come on? You know, your boy, you have a great friend. You got Matt Damon, who was accused of working with Russell, I think it was Russell Crowe, to fucking cover up to bury a story that's being done about Harvey Weinstein. Are you gonna call your best friend out?
Wow.
Like at this point, from all these guys coming out and saying, "Oh, we knew we should do more," I can see why so many women are so pissed at them, because it's like, what does that do? What does that do? All you're doing now is you're making a statement when it's easy. They're all fucking cowards. They're trying their best to put a statement out now to like, this is not like let me see, the one person who what was it? It was Ryan Coogler. Let me see if I can find his statement. Let's see.
Was it when the people were coming at him for working with Weinstein, or?
Yeah, and he came out. He made his statement, and basically it was like he hadn't. And again, this is the thing. People came up Ryan Coogler. I'm like, you can just tell right now. Ryan Coogler he's not a Ben Affleck. He's not somebody who has the clout of a Ben Affleck. But he made a more powerful statement than Ben Affleck did. Like, how are you? Come on. He said, "I am disturbed and saddened by." At the news that several women have been victimized by a person I come to know through the purchase of my first feature film. Let's see. It goes without saying that sexual harassment is a human right violation and sexual assault is a human right. Let me see if I can find the full statement. Here we go. I am disturbed and saddened at the news that several women have been victimized by a person I come to know through the purchase of my first feature film. While I had no further business dealings with Harvey Weinstein and no knowledge of his predatory behavior, my career did benefit from this brief involvement. Because of that, I feel a responsibility to speak on this issue. I love working as a storyteller, but I work in an industry that too many times has proven to not be a safe space for women. I made it a priority to ensure that there is gender equality and inclusive work in the environment on every project I am involved with. Shout out to him. And again, you can see that in his work with Creed and in Black Panther. However, just minding our business sometimes isn't enough. It goes without saying, but I will state it now. Sexual harassment is a human rights violation. Sexual assault is a human rights violation. Rape is a human rights violation. The entertainment industry, like many others, has a historical imbalance of power among gender that allows these violations to run rampant. As men, we sit in positions of power. And as men, we sit in positions of privilege. It's our responsibility to leverage our position and be allies to women in our industry. We need to do this do everything we can to make sure violations like this don't continue to happen. The first step is to listen. Salute to the brave women who came forward. I could never imagine how difficult that must be. How is it that a man whose only involvement with Harvey Weinstein is Weinstein's company purchased his first feature film? How is it that he has more of a scathing statement than the more powerful men who have more direct involvement with Harvey Weinstein and who directly knew what Harvey Weinstein was doing? Like, Ben Affleck can't say he didn't know. I think Quentin Tarantino came out and said he knew. Matt Damon clearly. So Brad Pitt definitely knew. His girlfriend at the time, Gwyneth Paltrow, got into an altercation with Harvey Weinstein over this shit. All right.
Right.
How is it that those men don't have as strong of a statement as an up and coming who only has basically a loose interaction with Harvey Weinstein? And it's because if you read Coogler's statement, Coogler clearly has it feels a direct responsibility and has worked. You know, you can see through his work, he has worked to bridge the gender equality gap in Hollywood through his actions. What you see with the other people is they don't. They have words, but they're not actually. And this goes back to why I don't believe that, you know, we're going to see a huge change here. You're going to see people trying to cover this up. You're going to see people trying to move on from this to get back to business as usual, because that's what they're saying. That's why they're making these statements. I want to know what the actions actually are. You know, when you see things like the Producers Guild come out and they get rid of Harvey Weinstein, but they leave in Polanski, you know, Allen, and the Academy leaves in them and Bill Cosby and all these others. What are we doing? What are your actual actions going to be? And I think that's the real question that, honestly, like there was I think Harvey Weinstein at one point said that he's going to try to, you know, he'll make a comeback. And here's the thing, I don't doubt him.
Oh, he'll be back. For sure.
The history of Hollywood. Shit. No, 'cause I think we do a disservice by making this a Hollywood story. The history of our society and how we handle men who have done wrong tells me that Harvey Weinstein will be back.
Oh yeah, big facts.
In some form, he will be back, and people will make excuses for him. You know,
I mean, you see it. You see it all across industries.
Mm-hmm.
Privileged white men are going to, men in general, but from a gender perspective, but the privileged white men will find a way to bounce back. They just have there's too much going for them unless they do something completely criminal. That's why I'm shit at this point. I'm trying to see if OJ really is white, because that bounce back only happens. I've never. That's the one reason why OJ might be the greatest problematic fave in the history of America, because the only reason he had support back when that trial was going on was just so that white people could feel what we felt every time somebody was wrongly accused or got off of a case that was clear that they perpetrated. So yeah. And now, like, this dude is back in the club mingling. Man, he must have got that white privilege limitless pill. He had to have got that.
Yo, it's always been funny to me since the OJ trial, watching white people not understand why black people were happy about the OJ trial or supported OJ in that. It had nothing to do with really believing he was innocent. It had everything to do with us going, now you know how we feel. Now you know how it feels when you know a motherfucker is guilty as fucking sin and gets to skate away and walk away with privilege. It is the only time, like, we don't fuck with OJ like that. You know, we don't. We've never really fucked with OJ like that. We fuck with what OJ represented in terms of fucking with white people. That was it. It's literally one of the greatest examples of white people getting fucked with. Because this is a black man who somehow got treated like a white guy, you know, and literally walks off in the most asinine way possible, right? And it's why when they finally got him for kidnapping and theft, we didn't give a fuck.
His shit back.
Right. Yo, I remember seeing some white people going, yeah. Now how's the black community feeling? We were like, oh, we don't give a fuck. Oh yeah, no,
I mean, for going back.
Yeah,
he should have laid low.
It was like we were like, oh no, like, you don't understand. Like, once that feeling was over, we moved on. Like, we never had a connect. Like, they make it seem like OJ became like some black hero. Like, we were just like, yeah, OJ. No, we didn't fuck with him. Like, he got out, and motherfuckers was like, fuck him. Like, we didn't care. We just cared what he represented at that time. In that one moment, once he got off, we were just like, fuck it. We didn't care, you know? It's just one of those things, and I know that sounds callous and hard, but it's like, he literally represented black people watching white men who were guilty as fucking sin skate.
Right.
You know, watching a failed and terrible justice system fail to get justice for, like, I'm sorry, you know, the Goldmans, they represented every black parent that sat there and cries when they watch the murderer of their son or the murderer of their daughter who's a cop walk free. That's what they represented. And at that point, that's what it was. Outside of that, no, we didn't care. We didn't give a shit, you know?
At all. What's the movie? Is it Mississippi Burning, where the dude gives the speech and says, close your eyes and imagine blah, 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 blah. And then imagine if she was white.
No,
was that Rose? Not Rosewood. Was it Mississippi Burning?
I don't think it's Mississippi. I know what you're saying.
You do know what I'm talking about. Because that I think, because all those movies are combined in my mind where, yes, he deserved to die, and I hope he burned in hell. I can't remember if that was the same.
Pretty sure it was. And what is? I'm looking it up now because it was Matthew McConaughey, and
it was Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah,
right?
Matthew McConaughey,
he was the lawyer.
Right.
I remember people were upset because they said it was an inaccurate depiction of what actually happened.
It was a time to kill.
Him like
it was a time. It was a time to kill.
Wasn't it? To kill. Yes.
Yeah.
That was the exact moment that we wanted people to feel with
Mhm.
that case. Like to close your eyes and imagine that happened to you. That's exactly what happened in the OJ trial. Because even afterwards, I was like, okay, but I tell you this much: we talk about race relations and the divide. We were divided as fuck in the country, and that shit exposed it.
Right.
So, and I was a kid, and you saw it. Because even when they showed the reactions of all the black people cheering and all the white people mortified, it was just like, damn. Because like they even had that moment where they said, I thought it was getting better. It's crazy how history repeats itself.
You're right. I thought we had moved on. He's like, what the fuck were you talking about? Because wait, so yeah, because the OJ trial was 94, and wasn't
94,
Rodney
yeah.
King 92?
Yep.
Yeah. So, and that's another thing that happened too. So like this, so the OJ trial was 2 years after, Rodney King. So black people definitely want some. Okay. We gonna see how this go. Oh, they're gonna walk. Okay. Yeah, we party off of that shit just because so many white people party off of Rodney King's beaters getting walking. So we were just like, yeah, no, this is see how it's so funny when you see people in privilege get what they've given in return. They don't like it, right?
Oh,
Because that's what I'm waiting right now. I'm waiting to see. Because that's the next stage of this, right? With these men who are coming, I can't believe Harvey. When people start turning their attention back onto them and what they've done, you're going to start seeing these men of privilege all of a sudden go, wait, well, that's not, I don't understand. That's not, I don't like that. Like, yeah. Because that's the thing about privilege, right? Real quick, going back to the Lupita thing, with what happened with Lupita and basically, she has things in the New York Times. You can read her article in the New York Times where Lupita Nyong'o, she basically talks about how early in her career Weinstein made several explicit passes at her, I believe in 2011, and he wanted her to give him she came there for I think a screening of a film to his house. He then took her to tried to take her to another room, was his bedroom, asked for a massage. I think he let's see. I thought he was joking at first. Nyong'o wrote he was not. For the first time since I met him, I felt unsafe. I panicked a little and thought quickly to offer to give him one instead. It would allow me to be in control physically, to know exactly where his hands were at all times. I began to massage his back to buy myself time to figure out how to extricate myself from this undesirable situation. Before long, she said that he wanted to take off his pants. I told him not to do that and informed him that it would make me extremely uncomfortable. The incident then ended and she left the home. I didn't quite know how to process the massage incident. I reasoned that that it had been inappropriate and called for, but not overtly sexual. But I knew I would not be accepting any more visits to a private spaces with Harvey Weinstein. Still, he persisted. When she attended a Weinstein screening, she joined him at a restaurant expecting others to be there. Instead, he was alone. He quickly got to a point. Let's cut to the chase. I have a private room upstairs where we can have the rest of our meal. Nyong'o claimed she was stunned. I told him I preferred to eat in the restaurant. He told me not to be so naive. If I wanted to be an actress, then I had to be willing to do this sort of thing. He said he had dated famous actress X and Y, and look at where they had gotten him. Nyong'o declined his offers and then departed the restaurant without eating. As she was getting in the cab, she turned to Weinstein. I just want to know that we are good. He responded, I don't know about your career, but you'll be fine.
Man,
like,
that shit was heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking because then you wonder, you have this adds so many other layers, right? So there's this first thing of you have people going, how people always wonder why there are no black actresses, no black people, no black people doing this. Because remember, Terry Crews came out and said he had been sexually assaulted by I can't remember if the producer or somebody else like that just came up and and grabbed grabbed him in his dick and something like that at a party, right? It might not be that these people don't exist, and we know this. It's not that they don't exist; that they've been blacklisted. So that's one aspect of it, right? This is the blacklisting aspect of it, of women who, like Lupita, who say, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to sacrifice my dignity. And again, I'm not making a statement against women who have done this, because you shouldn't have to make that decision. To me, it's like asking a starving parent, giving them one, one piece of bread and ask them to pick which child to feed, right? It's a heartbreaking thing. Like, you're asking these actresses, do you want to sacrifice your dignity to make sure you can eat at night, or do you want to deny me and you continue to struggle? Like, that is a horrible choice that I think nobody should have to fucking make. And right. I don't really I don't begrudge anybody who made either choice, because it's like, I don't know what choice I would make. You know, everybody has their fucking limit. So there's that aspect of it. But then the other aspect of it, and I saw some articles written about this as well, when it comes to people of color, it's like, there's also and not just, I guess not just people of color, but particularly people of color. How many women don't even get the call? And I got to be careful with this. I don't want people to think that I'm saying that
that
you want to invite sexual harassment. I'm trying to say this, but how many women don't even get the call to even get put into the situation because they're not considered attractive enough? So there's this element of being attractive. Like, the reason why Harvey Weinstein called Lupita up here and even offered to, quote unquote, help her career was because he found her attractive. If he had not found her attractive, she would not have even been offered the role. So you take the sexual assault element out of it. There's another layer here that is something that needs to be talked about and probably won't be for years. You have men in place making decisions and deciding and being gatekeepers for actresses based on how attractive they are to the actress. So it doesn't mean that you are good at your job. It doesn't mean that, you know how they always say, well, we cast the best actress for the job. Like, you know, when they were doing like Exes, Gods and Kings, and Ridley Scott was like, well, we got to get the best actors and actresses, and I mean, we didn't really think about going for black people because we just want to get the best act. Well, what is your definition of best? Is it actual acting qualities, or is it a superficial view of what you find attractive? And that can go for both men and women. If you are a gatekeeper and you don't find, because think about, I mean, this even happens among black men. If you don't find dark black skin attractive, you're not going to even give a dark black skin actress the time of day.
Right. And
so how is it, you know, so then she's stuck only getting the small roles with shitty directors, and people going, well, she can't act. Well, she's never given an opportunity to. She's never given a good role because she's literally been cut out because she doesn't meet a certain attractive standard. You know, if you know, like, when are we going to talk about that kind of stuff? Like, at this point, the thing to me is, yo, men can't be gatekeepers anymore. We can't be trusted. And it doesn't mean that women, especially white women, can't also be problems, because goodness gracious, has Rose McGowan gone from being a hero to being a villain in like 2 weeks. Good God, like, the things she says sometimes, I'm just like, ma'am.
Her PR must be twitching.
Whew, goodness gracious, like, you need to calm the fuck down. Like, we know you are definitely a sexual assault victim, and we support you, you know, in your endeavors in that way. But like, you, ma'am, you have been out of pocket for. Like, she went at Ellen. Ellen was not even talking about this. She was talking about, you know, making, you know, I think she was talking about somewhere in Texas or something like that, where the LGBT community is persecuted, stuff like that. And Rose literally quote tweeted her and said, "Speak for all women." And I'm like, you are talking to a woman, talking about, you know, LGBTQ issues that involve women. What are you talking about? What is wrong with you, ma'am? But anyway, like, when are we going to have that conversation about, like, men not being trusted? Like, women always say, hey, men are trash, and we get upset by that, but systemically, they're not wrong. They are not wrong. Like, if women and women of color suffer because they can only get a certain role because of the way they look, and they have to show some cleavage. Like, think about how many times, again, going back to the joke thing, how many times have we heard the joke about women having to show some cleavage, right? You probably have a friend, a female friend right now, who has made that joke. I'm gonna give me a mandate, and I'm gonna get this promotion. I'm gonna do this. I gotta show a little cleavage, right? They've made that joke, and everybody's laughed. But in the back of their mind, they are thinking to themselves, "I'm not 100% wrong here." No, we can't be gatekeepers, man. We can't. We are terrible at this. So, oh man, yeah, it's just bad. Real quick, there's the Amazon stuff. There's Nickelodeon fires Loud House creator after sexual harassment allegations. One of the kids from Stranger Things and It, he left his agent because I think the company his agent was under, because I think one of the agents, either he was working with directly or something like that, was accused of, I think, either touching young boys or something like that. Like, there's a lot of going on here, and I'm interested in seeing what happens when the noise calms down. I'm interested in seeing if they keep this up, because I feel like this happens like once a year. We get a really big story like this, and then we kind of forget and move on to something else.
Right.
So
it's blowing up though, man.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think the embers are going to be burning for a long time.
Yeah, definitely. So, all right, I got a couple more stories we'll do, and then we'll get out of here. Like I said, we're keeping it short today because we're going to go right into the gifted our reviews of this. So, here's a I don't know if you saw this story. Did you hear the story about I think, where is this? This is out in Long Beach, California. Restaurant caught selling Popeyes chicken as their own. Offers bizarre explanation. Did you see this shit?
Man. Hell yeah, I heard about this shit. I was so fucking pissed.
Dog.
The audacity. and I'm a brunch supporter, right? And there's a contingency that says brunch is trash. And I'm like, yo, if you're going there for a culinary experience, that's on you. It's about the cheap drinks. It's about trash food and chilling with friends, right? And having a good time. But to desecrate Popeyes for your own personal gain, that's like mutated gentrification, bro.
Bruh, this is the greatest thing in the world. Sweet Dixie Kitchen.
That's the, what's his name? Onslaught. That's like on the onslaught of gentrification. That's exactly what that shit is.
Oh man,
Yo, read him the story, Chris. Please read him the story.
Sweet Dixie Kitchen in Long Beach, California, has some pretty favorable Yelp reviews and seems pretty popular. But one reviewer was not impressed, called them out for selling Popeyes fried chicken, and prompted a strange response from the restaurant. Tyler H. of Los Angeles, California, accused the restaurant of passing off Popeyes chicken as their own. In the review, Tyler said, "Before my friends and I got seated, we saw them quickly bring in 2 large boxes of Popeyes to the kitchen. I ordered the chicken and waffles to see whether or not they were serving Popeyes to their customers. I thought the chicken tasted suspiciously like Popeyes and was also rather stale. I kindly asked our waiter how they cooked their fried chicken. After checking, he admitted that they do in fact use Popeyes. Instead of denying it, and that's his review. So then the article goes back in. Instead of denying it, Sweet Dixie owner Kimberly Sanchez appeared to reply to the review saying they proudly serve Popeyes spicy tenders.
She was fucking indignant. She was indignant about serving and it wasn't even chicken, bro. It wasn't even the pieces. You use the tenders,
dude. That's where I got. That's so. Is it wrong of me to say? And what does it say about me? That when I found out it was the tenders, that's when I got upset. Because at first I was like, "Hey, bro, what does it matter if they giving you a 2-piece spicy with your chicken and waffles?" I mean, the problem is that for me it's stale. But other than that, okay. I mean, because honestly, look, I've had chicken and waffles at a lot of places, and unless the place is black, that chicken is usually not really that great. Like, motherfucker be trying to serve you some chicken and waffles with a chicken breast, and I'd be like, "Hey, listen, motherfucker, you better get the fuck out of here." But they use chicken tenders, dog. They use the chicken.
All the fucking nerves.
They use the chicken tenders. They use the
chicken tenders. Who eats those shits from Popeyes anyway? Who eats chicken tenders from Popeyes?
Well, that also explains how they're getting it. Because you know what happens at Popeyes, right? They always have all the extra stuff and they be throwing that shit away. So what they're probably doing is they're probably going to the Popeyes when they're done with their extra chicken tenders and they're getting them boxes of them stale ass chicken tenders that ain't nobody buying.
Right. Nobody knows how it tastes. It can't be black people that frequent that shit. Because the minute somebody would have bit into it, they're like, yo.
Well, first of all,
tastes like Popeyes to you?
Well, first off, I don't think black people really like having the chicken and waffles when it's just chicken tenders in the first place. So I'd be seeing somebody play to offer chicken and waffles, and I never thought I had to ask this, but I've heard I start asking. It's like, okay, what kind of chicken? Because motherfuckers be, chicken tenders. Like, no, that's not chicken and waffles. I'm sorry, that's not chicken and waffles. I don't want
chicken tenders and waffles.
I don't want to, like, dog. I be seeing that, and I'm like, yo, you didn't say chicken tenders. You said chicken and waffles. Since when did we start doing chicken and waffles or chicken tenders and waffles? That's not the same thing. It's not chicken. What are we doing here? Like,
here's my bigger issue with it. According to the report, right? She said that they like supporting local businesses, so they're proud of supporting local businesses and including it in the menu. Popeyes is not a fucking local business. They're a national corporation with location in every major city. You're supporting a corporation to resell fucking Popeyes. Third hand Popeyes, first hand. I know what I'm getting myself into. Third, I might as well buy the chicken, go home, bring it in the morning, and be like, yo, just give me the waffles and can you heat this up? That's what they're doing. I would have respected it more if they went to like Crown or Kennedy's and got that chicken and said, fuck it. You might as well just go completely off the rails and go to Ak and all of them, my Muslim brothers, my Arab brothers, like, yo, because they'll make you a deal. They're not even getting the bang for their buck. You go to Kennedy's Fried Chicken, you can be like, yo, that's what how much for like a 40 piece? Well, that's just give me 30 and you're good.
Well, that's what makes me think that, yo, I don't think that they can't be going to the joint and getting fresh chicken tenders. They got to be getting the extra left. They probably got to deal with that Popeyes. I'm guaranteeing that's what it is. They probably got to deal with that Popeyes where they buy their leftover chicken tenders. But wait. Her response is even worse than what you said. Like, she says she probably says, but listen to this shit. This is gonna make you indignant, yo. This I can already feel the heat coming off of Jeff right now. I'm gonna read this shit. Like the first sentence is gonna make Jeff heated. Hi, Tyler. We proudly serve Popeyes spicy chicken tenders, the best fried chicken anywhere, and from New Orleans, which are delivered twice a day. She had the audacity to say this is the best fried chicken. The best fried chicken.
Yeah, but it's not yours. It's not yours. It's Popeyes.
But I find it hard to believe that in Long Beach, California, the best fried chicken in that area is fucking Popeyes.
Yo, he didn't even go to fucking Harold's. or my bad. Harold's is in Atlanta, I think. Roscoe's. Because you know why? They would have told them to go fuck themselves. Because that's their whole business. Yo, that and it can't be people who frequent Popeyes that eats there. Because to be that bold, to walk through the spot with Popeyes chicken, because when the dude was telling the story, he said, "Oh, I thought they were on lunch. I thought they were on lunch, and I thought they were going to eat." Then when I ate mine, I was like, "Hold up, this shit does taste like Popeyes. Let me just go ask." And they said, "Yeah." And he had to press them. If you read it, he had to press them for them to admit it.
Dog.
He had to press them out a little bit.
Dog. This is how little they care about their fucking. This is how little they care about their customers, and how little they think of them. They were so bold. They didn't even put the Popeyes in another bag. They brought it right from Popeyes. They brought it through the restaurant in a Popeyes bag.
They didn't even respect me enough to put it in a brown paper bag. Oh yeah, we sourced the chicken from somewhere else. We gotta get it. All right, fuck it. As long as it's good. You brought it in the Yo, that shit is a potluck. That shit ain't no restaurant. Yo, just make sure you bring chicken. You know what I mean? You don't gotta pay to get in. It's my house. That's a housewarming. That fucking restaurant is a housewarming. Just bring chicken, bring liquor. You know what I'm saying? We're not even charging to get in. Everybody just, make sure that you have enough for everybody. Don't just bring like one box of wings. You're going to eat those. Bring at least an 8-piece. It's like it's like you watching you watching the Super Bowl or some shit. And you're like, yo, just bring chicken. That's what they did.
The audacity.
At a restaurant.
The audacity to bring it through the front, through the chairs. And so and this is how you know it's not fresh, right? Because if it was fresh, everybody smells the chicken. Like if somebody brings Popeyes, everybody knows who got Popeyes. Because you walk by that Popeyes chicken, you smell it. So that's how you know it's not fresh. And then they had to go and warm it up. Because if it was fresh, you would smell it when they walk by with them big, oh my God. So I'm going to keep going though. I'm going to keep going this thing. We also, in case you need to know, buy our gumbo from our friend who sells it at a local farmer's market. And our jam, which we used to make here, we are introduced to a woman from Alabama who sells the most wonderful jams. And as it has always been our goal to feature local food and guest chefs here, we promote usual small batch local producers in our menu. The exception is Popeyes. We can't fry at this location, and the fried chicken I love so much, and I ate a ton of it in Atlanta, so I serve it. We don't grow our own vegetables. We purchase those and we run out. I like how she tried to sandwich the Popeyes in between sourcing local stuff, right?
Right.
Like she's
fuck, you ever seen Popeyes in a farmer's market? Come on, man. Fuck out of here. Are you kidding me?
We also let's see, if we run out of our own slow cooked pork, in order to keep our menu intact, I order a batch of carnitas from the best place in Long Beach. We don't mill our own flour as we don't own a mill or a wheat farm. Come on, stop being stupid.
So what the fuck are you doing in business?
No,
what do you do?
Yo, you know what this is?
A bar?
No, yeah, that's what it is. They are an outsource. This is the first outsourced fucking restaurant I've ever seen. They don't actually have. I'm convinced they don't actually have chefs. They don't actually cook anything. You just put it on a plate. That's all you do. Apparently that's all you do. You heat it up and you put it on a fucking plate.
They're seamless. They're a brick and mortar seamless. They're fucking Grubhub. That's exactly what they are.
And then she gets indignant. She's like, so whatever to you in your little review, like it was some exposure, and whatever to you, dude, we do what we do and bring Long Beach the best food, mostly made here. But we always get by with a little help from our friends, and we don't want it any other way. Kim Sanchez, like she is just unreal. Like they. And then they try to say we're
gonna come for her too.
Oh, absolutely,
I bet you
absolutely.
Popeyes comes from.
Absolutely, because Popeyes ain't down with that. Ain't down with that. Let's see. Also, they said, Sweet Dixie Kitchen responded to the accusation of them using this is an update. Using Popeyes chicken. Still no denial of their dishes containing Popeyes. No, they admit it. But they did strongly defend the several foods they made from scratch. They said, we have never claimed we make each and every item, which wasn't exactly the case before they changed their Facebook bio this morning. Here's, let's see, I think their original Facebook bio was Southern Goodness Redefined Food that connects your soul food that helps people remember. We stay faithful to our Southern roots, big flavor with conscious, healthier cooking methods and seasonal perfection. We are the home of the biscuit witch, a term we also use for the baker occasionally. Those delicious sandwiches are our awesome biscuits, or a waffle sandwich, or our award-winning pastry. Everything is made here, right down to our bacon jam and sriracha sour cream sauce. Stay local, stay happy, and always eat well. See, and this is why you don't eat at just anybody's soul food restaurant, right? This is why you don't eat. Like you don't eat at company potlucks, right? You just don't do it. Like unless you get there when the food first comes out, and even then, because I saw that fucking terrorist fucking macaroni and cheese that somebody had on the fucking timeline earlier this week, and I just said fucking no. I looked at that shit and was like, oh fuck no. This is why no.
I hope they called HR. I hope they called HR.
I am not above calling HR on somebody for some fucking terrorist ass fucking food. But this, but again, this goes back to why you can't eat just at any old soul food restaurant. Because I'm sorry, if you don't have somebody who sounds like they from the South, I'm not eating there. It's not soul food. Too many places become gentrified places, and apparently she is This is a Latina woman, but I believe she's like a white passing Latina, so it comes off as to me like this could have been a great moment of white privilege because it sounds like it. Sounds like some gentrified mess. She's basically made, she's taken the idea of a soul food restaurant, a local restaurant, and what they've done is they've taken and buy stuff from everybody else and they resell it at a higher price. That's another thing that gets me. The chicken and waffles they're selling, they're probably not even like at Popeyes prices. They're probably reselling you Popeyes chicken at a marked up price and selling it as local and fucking fresh. Get the fuck out of here with that shit, man. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. No.
Yo, nope. They're a sentient food blog.
Yeah.
They're like a curated food blog come to life. That's what they are. And they're trying to pass it as a fucking restaurant. If you don't make it, if you don't cook it, if you don't have chefs, if you can't fry chicken, if you can't make jam, you know what, jam I'll let pass because people buy that shit, whatever. But if you can't make 75%, you're not a fucking restaurant.
You're a market.
A house does more than you can.
You're a market. You're a market. Like what you are. I go in and I'm buying. Like and the thing again, passing it off as your own. And the idea of we can't fry. Chicken is easy to fry. How can you not fry chicken at that location? What do you not?
They don't have a fucking stove.
You don't like what? Do you have a microwave?
Probably microwave the shit.
They got a microwave.
They don't even have a hot plate at this point.
Like, dude, do you understand? There are bars that make their own like pizza's easy to make. There are bars that make great fucking pizza because they just have a wood stove and fresh ingredients. They throw it onto a little dough. They throw it in the oven for like 15, 20 minutes, and you got a pizza. That shit is more fresh and authentic than this fucking place is. It's fucking absurd. Unreal.
They don't want to get popped by the grease and by putting it in a frying pan and do it the old way. They not trying to get fucked up by that grease.
Oh god.
They want the deep fryer and shit. They're not trying to get fucked up.
It's amazing. Fucking amazing. I can't believe this. Like, I read that shit. And then, again, it's not even just that they're doing, like, everything about this is just so bold, right? The fact that they even did it. The fact that they bring it through the front fucking door so customers can see it. And the fact that most customers didn't even notice, right? The fact that the owner then comes onto the Yelp review and basically admits it and says, the only thing she was missing from that was, and what?
Right.
And what?
Well, she low-key did that. She was like, just so you know. I saw the hand moving as she said it and shit. I was like, oh, is this what we doing? Okay.
She basically hit him with the Jack Nicholson from A Few Good Men. She's like, you goddamn right, I ordered the Popeyes. Oh my god, yo, I can't believe this is truly amazing, man. Truly amazing. Again, it's why you can't eat everywhere, yo. You can't eat everywhere. Like, I'm judging so many fucking people right now for that shit. Oh my goodness, so amazing. So, all right, last thing before we get out of here, let's do a great moments on white privilege. Like I said, we're keeping the show short today. I'm tired, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do this real quick. So, play the music. All right, great moments in white privilege. There are so many this week. There's so much stuff going on with Trump and Niger, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm not dealing with Trump this day. I have been, for the most part, Trump free for the last couple of weeks, just because sometimes you need a break. I keep an eye on it. I talk about it on Twitter. Sometimes I'm just like, you know what? I'll take a break here. So I understand that. I'm using this to set up what I'm going to get into talking with Jimmy Fallon here. Like, I understand with everything going on with Donald Trump needing to take a break, right? And not wanting to make everything you do about Trump. Sometimes you need to do that. But I have a problem when people try to act like they just can't talk about it at all, and that they somehow have found a way to distance themselves from having to speak it. And that comes with Jimmy Fallon. Like, everybody knows, you know, during the campaign, Jimmy Fallon invited Trump on and tousled his hair, and you know, the Roots had more of a shot at Trump than Jimmy Fallon did. So Jimmy Fallon was being interviewed by Willie Geist on Sunday Today, and he was confronted about not going on Trump like every other late night host does, and Fallon had an interesting response. Let's see if I'm gonna get.
If you write anything on your
Okay, that's obviously not Jimmy Fallon. We're getting the YouTube
The
apps.
ad?
Yeah, the YouTube apps. Here we go.
Come to you and said, Jimmy, this is working for other people. Maybe we should step into the anti-Trump lane and get in on this.
It's just not what I do. I think it'd be weird for me to start doing it now. I don't really even, care that much about politics. I got to be honest. I love pop.
Right there. All right. I don't even care that much about politics. That is literally the whitest, malest thing I have ever heard from anybody ever to say. When it comes to something like Donald Trump, he has infected everything. First of all right, when Jimmy Fallon says this, well, I don't care about Trump, this is a perfect example of what we're talking about with Weinstein and, men are trash and men being able to separate themselves. Donald Trump isn't politics. Donald Trump is media. Donald Trump is entertainment. He came from that world.
Right.
So everything that Donald Trump, you're now seeing, it's like, and that's what I've been finding so interesting, is people denying the fact that Donald Trump has dropped that it's just politics, because he's not politics. This is a guy who has a star on the Hollywood the Hollywood Walk. He has one. He has a Hollywood star. Like, this is a guy. He's in the media. It's like, so you can't just say, well, I don't feel like talking about politics right now. Like, he is politics. Like, everything that Trump believes has come from, and you've seen through his entertainment, his pop culture stuff. So when Jimmy Fallon goes, I'm not interested in politics. Well, I'm interested in pop culture. Well, Donald Trump is pop culture. He has been. He's been pop culture longer than he's been politics. So again, why are you not talking about him?
Culture more than I love politics. I'm just not that brain,
Do you ever feel pressure to talk about Donald Trump or to go political? Do you hear that noise?
No, I think the other guys are doing it very well. Colbert's doing great. That's what he's good at. He's great. He's always into political comedy. And I think when it's organic, I'll dip into it as well. But I've always made jokes about the president, whether, we've only had Obama, but I've made thousands of jokes. I remember having him on the show. I'm like, sorry, if that's my job. I have to do what I have to do, But, with Trump, it's just like every day is a new thing. He gives, a lot of material. A lot of stuff is hard to even make a joke about because it's just too serious.
Hello today, fam.
And that goes back to kind of, this has come full circle. When we talk about comedy, has a lot of truth in it. So when Jimmy Fallon goes, well, a lot of stuff he's saying is just too hard to joke about. It's like, and a lot of stuff that Trump talks about is stuff that we joked about before he was president. He said this stuff. Like, what is South Park has made Trump jokes. And this is before him being president. South Park has made Trump jokes. The Simpsons have done Trump stuff. Like, everybody has made these Trump things because he's basically being the same person he was before. He just now runs the country. So when you say it's too hard to joke about them, well, what do you joke about? What do you write about? Like, I find Jimmy Fallon saying this stuff, it rubs me the fucking wrong way. Cause it feels like such a cop out. It's a cop out we hear from so many white men. Oh, well, it's too serious and I just don't feel like doing it. It's like, it must be nice. I wish I could do that. I wish I could. You're seeing, last week we were talking about the retailers, the comic retailers that were at New York Comic Con, right? And they were, Marvel, the SJWs are ruining comic books. Like, those guys are coming through, they're parroting alt-right bullshit.
Right.
They're parroting Donald Trump. They're parroting all this stuff. It's all the same. It comes through, Gamergate. Gamergate, that's pop culture. Did Jimmy Fallon, did you joke about, did you talk about that? No, you don't talk about that. Okay. You don't talk about the anti-diversity crowd, the SJW. You don't. So what are you actually making fun of? What are your jokes about? Like, what do you find comedy in? Being safe? Like, I don't understand. Like, I don't understand, what he's trying to do here. What is your point? Like, it just seems like such a cop out to say that shit. Like, dude, just, I I would rather you say I'm too privileged. I can avoid that. It doesn't really directly affect me. So,
That's what it is. That's what it is to me, because it's that naivety or feigning the naivety where he wasn't this dangerous when he was a candidate. Did you not see it? Did you not make jokes about all of the fucked up shit he was saying and doing? All of the tapes that came out? Xenophobic, homophobic, racist, sexist, misogynistic. That was all good when we didn't think that he actually was going to make it, and you frolicked in his hair and shit. But now that it's real, I think what I see with him, one, he's tacitly admitting he doesn't have the range for that anymore. He doesn't have the range, and he doesn't have the desire. The fact that he conceded that to Colbert.
The desire
is
to
enough.
say, yeah.
He doesn't have the desire, and he may not have that range anymore. Two, anything he says about Trump from this point in perpetuity, everybody's going to tie back what he did with the playing in his hair. So maybe he's just like, damn, if I don't mention it and I don't make him a focal point, maybe people will forget. But every time he makes a Trump joke, we remember, because we know and he was as complicit.
And that goes back to the Weinstein stuff. He's a coward. Like Jimmy Fallon, you're a coward. Like, that's what it is. You are being a coward. You're afraid of people calling you out for being complicit, and just standing up and going, "No, you're absolutely right. I was." Like, cause that's the one thing that I've always loved about 8 Mile. Watching that movie 8 Mile was when when Rabbit comes out, his first thing is just like, "Yo, you're gonna get on me, so I'm gonna say everything that you thought you were gonna get at me for. I'm gonna go ahead and put it all out there, then turn the mic over to you and let you try to come in and say some shit, right? And you can't do it. That's all people have to do. All Jimmy Fallon had to do is come out and say, yo, make fun of yourself. That's all the great thing about comedians. If you're going to be a successful comedian and be really, really good, at some point you have to make fun of yourself. And we know Jimmy Fallon has done that. Remember, he made the joke about, was it Nicole Kidman or something like that? We talked about this, how he turned down meeting Nicole Kidman or something like that at one point. She thought he was cute or something like that. Like, you might have even been on the show. I think you might have even been on the show that time. It might have been you on that episode. We joked about that. But he made, like, you, so you're okay with being the butt of a joke. You've made yourself the butt of a joke before. But it's serious now, and it's too serious for you. So you want to wash your hands of it. And I find that so fucking privileged. I find that so fucking privileged, and it's so cowardly. It's so cowardly. Like, I don't find Jimmy Kimmel to be that great of a political comedian. Like, I don't. Like, this is a guy. Like, when Fallon says some shit like this, you have to remind yourself, Jimmy Kimmel is the same Jimmy Kimmel from the fucking Man Show.
Yeah.
Man,
yeah,
so you're seeding that Jimmy Kimmel can be more political and be more comedian and do more return. He was on the fucking Man Show that literally ended every show with women jumping on trampolines. Like, are you fucking serious right now, dude? Like, you're that much of a coward that you're gonna secede that lane to okay. Like, it is such a weak, cowardly thing that that Fallon is doing, and I find it, because remember, like, I'm still, being in public eye means fucking up, and it means having to deal with criticism. Every time I was seeing Kimmel being brought up about him speaking out against healthcare and fighting back against Trump, I would always bring up the fact, like, the first couple times, I would be like, yeah, just like he did with the Lion. Remember Cecil the Lion, when he was crying about it and stuff like that, and he made such a big ploy about crying and stuff like that. But you know what I realized is, and the reason why I let up off of that is, I've realized that, you know what Kimmel did? He learned from that. He learned from the backlash he got from crying about fucking, a fucking line. Now he's on TV. He's crying about actually real people losing health care. He matured. He grew. He's become better. I can't keep faulting him and hitting him for that thing because he got better. But you know what I can do with Fallon? I can keep hitting Fallon over tussling in fucking Donald Trump's hair because he's too much of a fucking coward to stand up and go up against Trump. Because he doesn't want that. It's like, Yeah, okay, dude. Like, I think he thinks that he's gonna find a way by, like you said, by not mentioning it, it'll go away. But I'm like, by not mentioning it, it's going to stay there. Because the only thing now that we have to hit Fallon on with Trump is you tussled in his hair. That is what's linked with you and Trump. You're linked by that. You have no major statement against him. You have no major, moment where you kind of drop the facade and get serious. You have none of that. Your only thing is you find it just one big joke because that's the only thing you care about. All right, dude. All right.
And I think he's also doing his audience a disservice by not commenting and making those jokes, because everywhere else on your network is doing it. Not to say you should jump off the bridge too, but everyone else, like, shit. Michael Che is starting, like, that's a talented brother already, and his commentary on the Weekend Update is one of the only reasons to tune into SNL right now. And just the way he does it, everybody else is doing it. You know what I'm saying? So I think he's really doing his own audience a disservice, because you think about it. I think 20, 30 years from now, 50, 100 years from now, when people look back on this era, they're going to be astounded by how much Trump infected every aspect of human life in the U.S. and quite possibly the world. It doesn't matter the industry. It doesn't matter the hobby that you have. It doesn't matter what your race, background. Yo, I thought we were going to get through the show without mentioning his name once.
Mm-hmm.
I promise you, it's probably in the 90th percentile of any type of podcast that I've done, show that I've been on, interviews that I've conducted, where implicitly or blatantly he's mentioned, or shit that he's done is mentioned, or his policies are mentioned. It wasn't even like that with Obama. It was more so like, the media liked Obama and he was celebrated and all of that. But you could get through a show without mentioning some shit about Obama unless they did some shit, some cool shit, and then you mentioned it. But in terms of your content being driven by the actions of one man, that's the reason why media is popping. Cable news was on a decline. Like even broadcast news was about to be out of here before this guy got in office. And now he's been a stimulus. So you cannot ignore it. This isn't even like the elephant in the room. This is the country in the wild with all the fucking elephants. You can't ignore it. You can't ignore it. And for you to just disregard it and just say, oh, that's not me. It's been you for every other thing, but not him.
Mm-hmm.
The president of the country in which you host a show.
Yep.
For years, all your predecessors have had shit to say about the presidents and the world leaders. But now you're just like, we're gonna take a break. And I get that, even if you want to take a little bit of a break, because I think we all need to do that, or we're all gonna go insane and just be walking around apathetic about the world. But to make that a policy for yourself, or to just rest on that, nah. Yeah, you're a fraud.
It's one of the things, like you said, like we take a break every now and then. But like you said, I mean, it's hard. We spent most of this episode talking about other things, and we're gonna get into Trump. But even here, you still got a break because he infects everything you do. So this idea that you don't want to do it because it's too much and every day's a new thing. Well, here to tell you, Jimmy. Here to tell you, Fallon. That's why you need to talk about it. Because it becomes noticeable when you don't. And here's the other thing too. This is not like under Obama where, hey, things happen and we're definitely things we need to talk about, but it wasn't like every day felt like this. Like where every day felt like it's a new thing. Like he's attacking Gold Star families now. He's, throwing his own chief of staff under the bus and attacking black women. Like every day is something new with Trump. That's why you have to speak out, because it's that bad. And the fact that Fallon thinks that shrinking into himself and trying not to make noise, that's going to be remembered, dude. I'm sorry, but you're going to be remembered as a coward throughout history. And,
The
I'm
ratings
sorry.
are reflecting that.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
The ratings are reflecting that.
Yeah, and I'm sorry. I don't think if there's one thing about comedians, good comedians are they're not cowards because you can't be a coward and be a comedian. I don't believe that. You can't be a successful comedian and be a coward. And right now, you're being a coward. And like you said, I don't think the ratings are showing that because of that. So anyway, we got to wrap it up because we are already 3 minutes late for our gifted review. Jeff, thank you very much for not just being on this show, but again for all the help with New York Comic Con. Please tell folks where they can find your stuff at.
Yeah, thank you so much for everything and giving me that opportunity and the platform. I really, really appreciate it. I'm trying to get better, trying to do everything I can. So I appreciate that. You can follow me all social media at Jeff J Says and Nonstop Culture. That's where I currently house all the stuff that I do. It's mostly either podcasts or videos. I'm skewing more towards videos now. I feel like every time I'm on the show, I'm doing something different. So I'm trying to stick with something. So yeah. At Nonstop Culture on Twitter and Facebook and nonstop.culture on Instagram.
But real talk, I mean, you have to. Like, the only way to get forward, I mean, this is why I'm trying to focus more on the YouTube stuff now. Like, you got to go where the people are at. I mean, you got to go and you got to, if you just stay and just do podcasts or you just do one thing, you're going to be stagnant or you're never going to grow. So, I mean, you got to constantly do that. Like you said, you're always trying something. We're always trying to change something up. I mean, you got to do that. It's one of the things of being successful. So, yeah, again, folks, it's Handy Check, iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Google Play Music. You can get us at mtrnetwork.net or you can just go to youtube.com, MTR Network. Again, subscribe, help us get over 600 subscribers. And also sign up for the newsletter. I'm going to start putting out more stuff. I think what I'm going to start doing more stuff with the newsletter, I'm going to start putting out codes and coupon codes for like the store and things like that. So you'll keep an eye out for the next couple of weeks. So a bigger push for getting everybody to sign up for the newsletter. So again, folks, thank you very much for listening. Until next time, we're out of here. Peace.